y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen Dion, and today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to be making a cooking video. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. What we're going to be making today is tomato stewed chicken. This meal is so good. I grew up on this dish. I got it from my mom. I grew up making this meal, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'm starting off with clean chicken and clean hands, and I'm using drumsticks for this meal. You can use any kind of chicken of your choice, but I'm going to be using drumsticks. So I'm going to go ahead and start with seasoning my chicken. I'm going to be using the onion powder, so I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of onion powder to the chicken. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on, and I don't direct measure everything. You know, when you're in the kitchen for so long, you really just don't do that. You don't really measure your seasonings. But that if you wanted to measure, you can use about 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and I have 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and I'm going to go ahead and season that on my chicken. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the complete seasoning by Badia. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But I'm going to season my chicken with that as well. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my adobo seasoning next. This is the Goya adobo. This is in the flavor lemon pepper. And I'm going to go ahead and season my chicken with that as well. This adobo seasoning gives it such a great taste. So I'm definitely going to use that. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my black pepper, of course. And then I'm going to go ahead and go in with some cayenne pepper. I'm using about 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I grew up on spicy food. Hey, if you don't like spicy food, do not use the cayenne pepper. But I grew up on spicy food. I love spicy food so much, so I definitely went in with some cayenne pepper. I'm also going to go ahead and add some Tony Szechuan. You do not have to use Tony Szechuan. You can use any Creole seasoning of choice. But I'm definitely going to be using Tony Szechuan. That's what I grew up on, so that's what I'm going to be using here today. So right now, what we're doing, we're done seasoning the chicken. Now we're going to go ahead and mix up the chicken and the seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and just mix the chicken around in the seasoning just to make sure all of the drumsticks are coated with these seasonings. And like I said, you don't have to use chicken drums if you don't want. You can. This dish is good with any type of chicken. So if you want to use chicken thighs, you can use that. You can use chicken breasts, chicken tenders, anything that you want. You can change it up any way that you want. But I love using this chicken legs for this recipe. So that's what we're going to be using. And that's what your seasoned chicken should look like when you're done mixing it up. So right now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is add this to my skillet, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the chicken in the skillet. I went ahead and added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I have my stove at a medium-high heat, and I added all of my chicken legs into the pan. You want to make sure that all of the chicken legs are in the pan evenly. And I'm going to go ahead and flip my chicken. Now, this has been cooking for about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, you want to go ahead and flip your chicken because it already has that sear at the bottom. When you see that sear, that golden sear at the bottom, that's when you want to go ahead and flip your chicken. So I would say about 5 minutes on medium-high heat. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my legs here. And like I said, you want to make sure that each of the drumsticks are touching the pan. You do not want to overlap the chicken. You want to make sure that each of the drumsticks are able to cook evenly. So I'm just arranging that so that each of the drumsticks are able to touch the pan. So I am actually going to be using jasmine rice for this dish. If you want to make this dish a little bit healthier, I can definitely recommend using brown rice. That would be delicious as well. But right now what I'm doing is just adding a little bit more olive oil to my pan. It looks like it was running out of oil, so I went ahead and added some more. But yes, you can make this dish with brown rice or any. If you wanted to do it even healthier, you can do quinoa. So you can use any rice of choice. But I'm definitely going to be using jasmine rice because to me, it just adds that perfect accent to the meal. So I'm going to be using jasmine rice. Okay, so next what we're going to go ahead and do is let this cook down a little bit more. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what vegetables I'm going to be using. So these are my vegetable seasonings. I have a half of chopped purple onion. I have 1 fresh jalapeno pepper chopped. I also have about 3 Roma tomatoes chopped. And then I also have about 2 stems of green onion. So like I said, if you do not like your food spicy, you can definitely omit the jalapeno peppers. You do not want to add that if you have sensitivity to spicy food. If you don't like spicy food, you do not have to add the jalapeno pepper, so omit that. But I love spicy food, like I said, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that fresh jalapeno pepper in my seasoning mix. So I let this cook about for 5 more minutes. You want to make sure that your chicken has a golden brown color to it. So I flipped it on both sides, and both sides are both seared. So I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables to the pan. And this is what really gives it that stew, that sauce, the gravy to the dish. The vegetables are everything to this. So I'm going to go ahead and mix in my vegetables around the chicken. And I'm just going to make sure that my vegetables are evenly distributed throughout the pan. Okay, so now that we have evenly distributed the vegetable seasonings, I'm going to go ahead and cover this pot up and let this cook down for about 10 minutes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this has been about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all the progress that it's made. So this is the midway results. This is how it should look midway. You can see the sauce has rendered. The tomatoes and the vegetables have already stewed down. So I just wanted to show y'all how it should look midway. So that's exactly how it should look. The juices should already be rendering in the dish. So we're just gonna go ahead, and at this point we're gonna go ahead and add some chopped garlic. Actually, this is minced garlic, I'm sorry. I had minced garlic on hand, but if you have fresh chopped garlic, definitely use that. It definitely brings out more flavor in this dish, but minced garlic is what I had on hand. So I went ahead and added about 1 tablespoon of minced garlic to the dish. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a tablespoon and get a tablespoon of chicken bouillon and add that as well. So I'm adding that to our sauce, and I'm using 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. So right here you just see me coating the gravy on the chicken. Y'all, this meal is so good. OMG, I absolutely love this meal. It is so delicious, and you're gonna love it too, 100% guaranteed. It is so good and it's so healthy. But yeah, absolutely love this. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix that in, and I'm gonna go ahead and cover that back up and let that cook. I let that cook for 10 more minutes. And this is how it should look. You see the chicken just falling off the bone. That gravy just darkened up. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for the steam, y'all. The pots were very hot, but yes, ma'am, this food is so good. And I went ahead and made a side dish. I made sauteed spinach here. You can really use any type of side dish. You can use corn as your side dish, green beans, broccoli, whatever you choose. But this is the finished product, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe and join the family. Have a great day. Bye.